Today we're going to go over a song I wrote. So it's not going to be a very long video, but I'm going to break it down a little bit. And then I'm going to make this project available on my Patreon. So if you've been watching some of my videos, you'll notice how I have a general structure on my grouping and where it's routing. Lately, I've been combining the symbols with the perks and just keeping it all in one, but this is, I wrote this about, I started writing this about a year ago-ish. Finished writing it about sometime in August, maybe the beginning of winter, and released it in an album. So you can check that out on any of my any of the streaming services, Bandcamp, YouTube as well. All right, so if you haven't heard this song before, this is what it essentially sounds like.
This beat, I ain't asking for crown. I'm here to make the whole 5 boroughs bounce.
I'll just briefly go over some of the bases. All of these bases, I believe, you should be able to find through my Patreon as racks, but of course you're able to just save it how it is in this project. And I think this, I think that's actually really the only thing. Not seeing MIDI here, so the effects are samples. My friend Evan Everyman did the vocals, and then I mixed them. What's in this section? Yeah, we have some guitar stuff. The bass is real guitar. Okay, so that's an actual sample as well. Except this one, I think. Oh yeah, this is Contact. So I've been using a lot of Contact lately, actually, since this, to write bass lines. And layer it with a sub. And these guys sound like that.
When on the east.
Anyway, so the way this is structured is actually very much how I kind of write things these days. You have the start, which is just like the setup, and then there's the intro. So in this is when the vocals start, into the build, into the drop. And then the drop has 2 different motifs with a midsection here. If I recall correctly, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's no midsection, actually. I think that might, oh, that's actually over here. There's a mid build over here. So what's happening here and here are probably similar to what's happening here and here. And then we have the drop and chill. So drop. And the second motif. So it's like a new call and response bass with some mixes of, let's see, so yeah, these are all the call and responses, and these are the new call and responses. And then you try and pull in some from here into this. And this is where the piano and horns start coming in, make it more impactful. So I originally had them all here, but it sounded more interesting to like not have them and then pull them in. And then drop but chill is basically just the bass playing, right?
Crooklyn style got the head nods ping.
With the vocals.
Crooklyn style, got the head nod swing. Story paint vivid with the payphone ring. From the stoops to the stage.
Some people call it like a pre-drop, drop a chill, whatever it is that makes sense to you. And of course, it's the build.
Thrift shop poet, the old from the Biggie murals in Venice canals. Bed-Stuy solely in the Cali sun.
So I think that's going to basically be the same as this.
East to west, we connected.
Folks, to the build.
Like Q-tip with the snarl sound crisp. Every Polaroid can't delete this pic. Respect the game, Oaks, Gene Gray, and Quali. I'm a guest in the borough, but they call me family.
So, and this section is basically the same as the first section, but what I did is I made things a little bit more legato and changed the rate up a little bit to make it seem different, and making things more legato like makes it feel like it hits more. So depending on what you're doing, like, you know, it has more loudness essentially, and it allows you to kind of do other different things, because if it's like there's like a different type of rate. So right, so like during that, it takes up a lot of like your headspace of what you're listening to. So you don't want too much going on. But here, you know, you could potentially, I've done this in other songs, like drop out some parts of the drums and just have the bass or, you know, what have you. Then it has a midsection.
East to west, we connect them miles. Every man on the mic with the Crooklyn style. A-train hum in the Cali breeze. The hip-hop, one love, one piece.
It just makes it more interesting because you are basically copying, pasting. Let's hear. I wonder if there is anything else happening. No, it doesn't look like it. There's less stuff. I think I dropped these basses so that the these instruments down here sounded more impactful. And then, yeah, it was just the outro.
Yeah, 5 boroughs bounce. I'm here to make the whole 5 freaking boroughs.
Right. So yeah, if you're curious how the vocals work, there's he sends me multiple takes, usually with like different styles. Some have more like, you know, grit, and some have more like kind of laid back, like different cadences. And I try and pick the one that I like the most, post it up, mix it, and then put the sides, lower the volume, put them left, right, and go one by one. So with these, you barely hear like these little cuts and stuff, because these are the ones that are up front. So all you really want are these guys to kind of like back it up and give it more strength, I guess. Thinking it up. And since these are the only vocals here, I just kind of use this group as the that vocal bus essentially. As far as what the basses are, this is an operator, right? So this one I did put in. I'm not sure if I kept it with the phaser and the corpus, but I also recently made a really quick short video, not breaking it down, but like showing how it's made like really quickly. So you have to do a lot of pausing if you're trying to copy, because it took the whole 3 minutes. But you know, you can just take this, or you can use one of the patches that I have. And then this is some Wook thing. This actually gets some. The trash 2 is actually giving quite a bit. This is a legacy trash, I think. So if you're able to get this, it's different from the new updated isotope trash too. But they have some really cool tones under. If you go to Convolve here on the bottom, where it's kind of lit up, and then you choose, I think, body. You get a bunch of cool sounds in here. You can kind of move through. So without it, yeah, still totally good sound, but it's just a little different, old school. I had to click out of it. I think I use Hollow or Fishbowl, one of those two, in some of my songs that are more like probably around like 80 BPM because they have a very wookiness to it. So we have more operators, a lot of operators. And yeah, all of these are definitely in there. Yeah, all of these are definitely in the patches that I put out previously on my Patreon. Let's see. What is this guy doing? Dying web sign. This, by the way, see this curve here is caused by the smooth. So it looks like it's actually beating maybe this one. I think it's that. I think LFO4 might be going to smooth here. Let's take a look at the matrix. LFO. I don't see it here, but it seems like something is automating this. It's kind of cool. I really like actually messing with smooth now. There's an earlier patch I made where I did put an LFO to the smooth so that there would be more swing. So like you'd see how it kind of moves it forward a little bit. You can also do the opposite depending on what shape you make. Like if I change this, right? It's like the shape kind of changes. So it's really cool for swing ideas if you wanted to add like another layer to things as opposed to just, just like another layer of stuff. Line bass, you can take a look at this rack. Honestly, a lot of times I have a bass rack that's similar to this, and I'll just copy, paste it, save it in my rack here whenever I do live bass, and almost immediately it makes it sound more lively. Doesn't always work, but modifications are always made, but it's pretty solid, honestly. See, we have Crunchy Saw, which is in Phase Plant. Not too crazy. Look at this guy doing. That's the only time it's played. Let's take a listen to it. I think it'd be pretty cool on its own. That's a dynamic tube. It's causing that sound, and then the snap heap with the washout. This is actually not my patch. So we have, I think all of these, maybe this is the only one that's not my patch. Looks like Rob Swire. can see what it sounds like without the cute tube. Dynamic tube is a hard one to mix with. A lot of times it sounds really cool, more like deep and mean, but it really fucks with the sub a lot. So you either need to put it in like a splitter, or you're gonna do some heavy EQing where you're really boosting up the lows afterwards. And it kind of sucks because the low, the sub frequencies get fucked, but the low mids, basically the octaves right before the sub frequencies get, I guess, kind of like mostly stay the same, and so like it becomes like a whole thing of trying to not raise this area but only raise up the sub without like over boosting things, and so like it's kind of a pain. So I would put a splitter. I kind of wish. And I don't know, maybe they didn't. I'm not saying anything. I kind of wish they had that as a capability, kind of like how OTT, Roar and OTT, you know, like some sort of EQ base where at least even just a splitter would have been great if I could just be like, hey, I don't want this tube affecting anything in the 90s. But, you know, you can just put your own splitter there, I guess. Slink harmonics. I think this is one of this. Yeah, this is from our collab actually. It's a cool sound. I think in this, not using it very often, am I? It's a cool sound, but I think in our song "I Need You," it's very prolific, so I try to avoid using it over and over again. Let's see. Yeah, this is the one I made a while ago. You can change the wavetable. This is causing a bunch of harmonics, right? So if you raise it up, it's going to make it higher, essentially. I wonder, you could probably put sync on it. Ooh. That's pretty cool, honestly. Yeah, that's pretty cool. You can mess with the warp here and the sync if you want. You can do whatever the fuck you want, really. But yeah, this is a patch I already released. Yeah. I don't remember what this is. I didn't name it. It's a really, it's 4 octaves on it. So yeah, high harmonic, that's what I call it. Which is funny because I think I was trying to copy, this is the same thing, right? So I put this down. Anyway. There you go. Yeah, I don't know if I need to go over any more. If you watch my other videos, you see how I kind of like EQ and stuff like that. But yeah, if you have any questions about like specific tools I'm using, it's mostly Ableton stuff. What is this? This is a splitter, I think. Yeah, this is a splitter right here. It's a high-low. Because I guess I wanted to not... I was trying to, and it didn't work, shift the highs, but I did shift the lows. I guess let's see, let's take a listen to that, actually. Oh, that's this one. Yeah, I think it's specifically that that sound right there. Oh, this is the one I really wanted to change. Anyway, yeah, and that's really it. Drum meets this is a very simple, as you can see, like I reused this a lot of the time. And I think I resampled this kick. Yep. So I'll leave the kick too, and yeah, that's it. Enjoy.